Without You by the Kid LAROI.
I need to go today. I need to go. Sounds kind of 90s, huh? So, there's a very interesting thing happening right now in the sky. We're coming into a Mercury Cazimi, and it's getting a ton of support from the biggest, archetypal players. That's Jupiter and Saturn. So putting these pieces together, I have three important things that you'll need to know or understand about this Mercury Cazimi. Point number one, we'll just talk about this Mercury Cazimi in its pure form. So what even is a Mercury Cazimi? Okay, it's when Mercury and the Sun are in the same exact degree in the sky. And why is that significant? Well, this happens about 5 times a year, and it opens a space of deep clarity and insight because it's basically like a power-up. Okay, so I'm thinking about, I don't know if you ever played Super Mario when you were younger or whatever. Mario would hit a brick with his head and a mushroom would come out and the mushroom would make him really big. Okay, so that's what a Mercury Cazimi is like, or any Cazimi really. It's like a power-up from the sun.
Here we go!
And any Cazimi is like a new moon moment of energy. So what that means is like a receding, not receding, like receding hairline, but
I'm not only the hair club president, but I'm also a client.
receding into the earth. So in this case, it's for Mercury things, some sort of inspired wisdom or some thoughts of this period of time. And it's going to last until the next meetup of Mercury and the Sun. It's going to have to do with communication, self-expression, the mindscape, all Mercury things, how you think and express your thinking, and how that's going to connect with others and your emotional state. So this is going to be for the next 2 months approximately. Let's start off with some layering. The degree of the Mercury Cazimi in metaphor. I'm going to use the Sabian symbols for this. Cancer 10, a large diamond in the first stages of the cutting process. When I saw that, that was exciting to see this one. I found it very interesting because it feels very of the moment. It seems to me like we're on the precipice of a lot of change in the world and possibly in your own life too, your own personal scale, a lot of change coming through. And I really like that metaphor of the uncut diamond for a soul journey going through a succession of human incarnations. Each time our soul takes a ride in a earthship body, another facet of that uncut diamond of our consciousness and understanding gets polished, but it's through friction, it's through action of that particular lifetime. And a diamond has a lot of facets. So we start with an uncut one, it just looks like a lump, it just looks like a rock, a kind of nice rock maybe, but not a diamond like we're used to. It has to have a lot of work put into it. What kind of experiences are coming at you right now? That's what you need to be looking at. And if they make you feel uncomfortable in a sense, because they're different or because maybe it's not something you're used to, that's unfamiliar. That might be part of your journey to get a smoother finish. To get to a really nice polish on our soul diamond, there's sacrifices we need to make, something that we need to do, a risk that you might need to take, or a release of that iron grip on something that comforts you and keeps you locked in place. So in order to get closer to this ideal version of your story, you got to break some eggs in order to make an omelet. So that's what this image for me is saying. This is going to be a long process. If we think of that as our soul being processed over a long period of time, a lot of experiences, it's going to take a while. And some skill is involved to not destroy this raw, precious stone, not to take too much off of it. There's a balance that needs to be made, some care, some consideration. There's craftsmanship. So what does this mean? Finding good teachers, finding people that you can count on, that can get you to the next level, that can push you a little bit out of your comfort zone. This could be very near and dear to your heart emotionally because we're talking about the Cancer element. So this is listening to a very deep intuition that's inside of you, a message that's coming through. Put that into perspective. We got this uncut diamond. We're getting some really important information about how to move forward with our emotional state. That's Cancerian. And we could use some help with discipline getting through this time. And we're in luck because point number 2 that I want to share with you is Saturn. Saturn's in on this big time, and Saturn's a planet of responsibility, restriction, organization, mastery. It's really heavily influencing and supporting this Cazimi. On June 29th and June 30th, respectively, the Sun and then Mercury, these two main characters in the Cazimi, right? They're going to be taking turns making a trine to Saturn in Pisces. a trine is the most supportive aspect in astrology. So I imagine trines, the kind of support that you would get from a ride or die person in your life. Now that could be your family, that could be a friend, that could be anybody for you. That's your person that will be there, no questions asked, I've got you kind of person. That's a trine aspect. It's like whatever you need. You don't have to explain it. I got you. That's a trine. So with the trine happening from Saturn to the Sun and then Saturn to Mercury right before Sun and Mercury Cazimi together, it's happening in water signs, Pisces and Cancer. And there's a lot of emotional undercurrent going on. Big feelings. And this is being a trine. It's a supportive helping hand to this emotional state. Okay, thinking about Saturn, archetypes. Saturn is a boundary maker. It's the planet of contraction. It's effort. It's mastery. And it's traveling through with its little bindle in the imaginative spiritual landscape of Pisces. And I see Pisces also as this outer infinite space and inner infinite space. As above, so below. It's all reflected. Our bodies, all the way down to the cellular level, all the way up to the macro level of space. It's all mirroring each other. So it's very easy to get confused in this area because it's very vast. It's infinite space. And this is an opportunity with Saturn in Pisces to get some clear imaginative solution coming through. These are messages, these are signs, these are things you need to hear. And it's going to be packaged and structured in a way that you can take it forward. This is all going to be very supportive to the area of your life that's managed by Cancer. So whatever house Cancer rules in your chart. Okay, now, next up, we've got Mercury and the Sun, Cazimi, happening in Cancer. So what can that mean for you? Possibly you could be thinking about your past, some nostalgic feelings, home, mother or mothering stuff, mom issues, the motherland, the homeland, your family in general, family history, family karma. And I think mostly one thing that I feel about Cancer is it's your inner guide or your inner intuition. It's that part of you inside that is the archetype of the mother, your own mother, that's built into you, that wants the best for you. And the intuition is what we're listening to, not necessarily the instinct, because the instinct can be modified by fear. But intuition is usually very, very clear and very clean. So what can you do to become more in tune with that inner voice inside of you? What soul yearning do you have? And what can you do to move towards fulfilling those desires with concentrated effort? The key here is that ability to get some disciplined effort going on, to get organized, to be reliable, and imaginative at the same time. That's what the Saturn in Pisces is doing here. So it's even more in a way that's connected to your spiritual desires and your yearning of your soul. What do you really, really want? These are two of the three water worlds meeting up and talking in a very supportive way. And that brings a lot of healing compassion. Pisces is compassionate. Cancer doesn't forget. It gets real deep, real personal. It's those primal waters of what we can be holding on to emotionally and carrying around for too long. So a lot of people do things without awareness. They don't really know what they're doing to you, or they don't understand what damage they're doing. So this could be a time to bring some Saturnian compassion, a boundary. So a lot of the stuff I'm bringing about is looking back, family, karma, your past, stuff like that, emotional state. It's because it's amplified. We've got Saturn retrograde motion, and right as this is happening, we also have Neptune going into retrograde motion. There's Pluto in retrograde motion. There's a lot of retrograde motion going on. And just side note, retrograde just means it appears to be going backwards in the sky when observed from planet Earth. That's all it means. Metaphorically, it means that there's an element of rethinking, reevaluating, restructuring, especially with Saturn in retrograde, and recalibrating this emotional, spiritual element of your life to bring some form of mastery out. Mastery, my favorite keyword for Saturn. This trine from Saturn to the Mercury Cazimi is going to be an indicator as well for work that you could do on a very deep personal passion project, something that just feeds your spirit at the most profound level, regardless of how it's received from the world. Are you writing a book? Are you making an album? Are you wanting to feel your body move in expressive dance? Are you building a house? Do you want to build a house? Are you planning to walk the Pacific Crest Trail? Whatever it is you're into, listen to your intuition and potentially move towards whatever that dream is and bringing it into reality with the Saturn trine. At least you're getting the idea, right? This can be amplified with some type of meditative practice. Now, a lot of us don't want to just sit in, lotus position or do the just sit thing, I know, but it doesn't have to be a practice of specific meditation. It can be. It could be just getting to a quiet place in your mind or being out in nature on a walk. The Mercury Cazimi, it doesn't need much to get that message to you because it's powerful. I've been using the Aura app that I've partnered with them, and I've been using some of their meditative stuff because I'm not one of those people that likes to just sit. My mind is just going too much, but that's one of the practices that I'm working on, is to quiet the mind down and to take a break. The Aura app has been really helpful. There's a link in the description below if you're interested in checking it out. And one other thing I really like about the Aura app, and it's a little weird, but ambient music and a cat purring. So it's really soothing for some reason. But anyway, that's the Aura app. You can check it out down below. This feels like the time to start making dreams come true. This Mercury Cazimi flow with Saturn, with Pisces, especially with an artistic type of project, it's really a good time to do that. So let's check out the symbol for Saturn's degree. This is the ride or die support. It's coming from this image. It's Pisces 8, a girl blowing a bugle. And the keynote for this from Rudyard is a call to participation in the service of the race as an evolutionary crisis approaches. That one might seem a little odd at first. The bugle word is a weird word, so maybe trumpet or horn is better, but the metaphor is symbolic because it's a way of calling out. It's sounding an alarm. A lot of us know, a lot of us feel it internally that something's going on. And more than that, it's a call to like a collaborative collective, that the spiritual gangster kind of thing. Maybe it's time to gather up. It's time to Here's what Dane Rudyard has to say about this symbol. In traditional symbolism, the woman refers more specifically to the biological or psychic aspect of human life. It's not, specifically gender, right? We're talking about archetype. She is seen primarily as the mother and or the intuitive or psychic type of person. A new race of human beings may well be slowly unfolding some of its potential consciousness and fulfillment. The individual who sees this evolutionary development sounds the call, sounds the bugle. He or she is seer, herald, and mutant.
We are now seeing the beginnings of another stage of human evolution.
In that sense, such a human being is both the individual true to his own original nature and a dedicated person, dedicated to the future he or she holds in latency, as does a seed in mutation. Anytime I say mutant, the first thing that comes to my mind are the X-Men. And they didn't really have it easy, did they? Being different, so different. They were harbingers of change, the human species, and they were bugle sounders. They were canaries in the coal mine. I don't know too much about the X-Men. My X-Men knowledge is pretty limited to the franchise of, it seems like it could track.
There is a war coming. Be sure you're on the right side.
So I want to go on to James Burgess from the Sabian Mysteries. He says, always there is something new on its way. Always a group must adapt to that. And always there are the first intuitive people to sense the coming changes. They blow their bugles, even though few will want to listen to the herald sound of the future. So that happens, right? A lot of people are out there, saying what needs to be said, and it doesn't really always get heard. There's that saying, right? Don't shoot the messenger. So there's, it's kind of hard to be the messenger. It's hard to be the person with the bugle, but we can do this through fixing of our own emotional state. I want you to ask yourself, what is the message you're hearing? What are you observing, and what changes need to be made? So this can be on all types of scales. Obviously global, we need a lot of changes. Locally, there may be some changes that you can do. And it could be very hyper-personal. What changes can you make in yourself? If there's an alarm going off inside of you, it's being supported by forward movement. The ride or die. It's like Saturn says, hey, I hear that alarm too. What do you want to do? Let's do something. Let's do something about it. You may be getting up the nerve to say or do something that you didn't feel solid enough to do before. Point number 3. Okay, road to number 3. Point number 3. More good news in point number 3. We have very supportive action. This time it's from Jupiter. So we're getting a really beautiful bounty from Jupiter. Bounty, opportunity, benefits are coming to this Mercury Cazimi, and it's from Jupiter in Taurus. Now in Astro Talk, it's a sextile, and that's a really lovely Venusian energy of support. Now the sextile is another easy aspect in astrology, but it's not as strong of a support as the trine, ride or die energy. A sextile is like a very supportive, cool, awesome person, a friend maybe that inspires you, that brings something interesting into your life, great conversation, collaborative stuff, that we can do something together and make something interesting. We're stimulating grace from Jupiter. We're stimulating a larger order coming through in a very physical way because it's Taurus, it's Earth. And I'm thinking that it's going to be through the body, through your senses, through nature, and healing your inner self. There's another image on that. It's music, it's feeling, it's touch, it's sensuality, it's massage, it's loving and touching your person. It's maybe an incredible meal, taking care of yourself, nourishing. But what are you putting in your body? What are you doing with your body? Are you understanding what's in your system and how you're treating your earth ship? Because we need to be in good shape, we need to be in good condition so that we can be strong enough to do what we need to do here. Jupiter is an expander, makes everything bigger, and it indicates that this is maximized. This energy is maximized and optimistic. Taurus is ruled by Venus, so it brings like this artistic element, monetary wealth stuff, love, all the good Venusian things that astrology likes to talk about and we all want to hear. But it's something that you could also be very internal because it also rules your values, your self-worth. What do you value? How can you bring that optimism into your life of your own self-worth, your own value? Do the thing, right? That just all comes together really well here. When you pursue your desire at your soul level to do the thing that you're here to do, you're going to feel very fulfilled in your self-worth. Jupiter is a faith kind of thing, and it's a faith in your own process, in your own mind, your own emotional mindscape, trusting yourself, that your intuition is true, you're doing the right thing. You feel it? Okay, I can trust myself. I'm learning how to trust my own intuition and be confident in your life, finding ways to move towards your ideals. So we're looking at the Sabian symbol for Jupiter. This is where the optimistic stimulation comes from through the degree, and it's Taurus 10, a Red Cross nurse. It's coming from a place of compassionate service. Rudyard says this symbol reveals a feeling of human cooperation at the stage of pure altruism and service for the whole. And Burgess says it's only through surrender of self-importance that we can truly realize the importance of the self. A mastery reveals itself to us as we serve others, a hidden truth of who we are and what really matters to us. So it's really beautiful. Putting a little bit of time into your soul can be like a Red Cross nurse for someone else. That's what I think it's saying. In experiencing a service to others through your own passion, you're getting the most benefit from that deal. I've certainly felt that way in the past with the work I've done with children.
We walk. We walk. We play. With Nelly and me and you. We play.
Who have severe neurodiverse or physical needs, and interacting with them brings me to a place of real personal humility and gratitude that I would never get if I wasn't interacting with them or serving them in a way. They're actually serving me, and helping them helped me get to a place where I definitely wouldn't have reached.
Mwah.
All right, that's all I have time for. We're going to go to the fair. My family's here to go to the fair. We're going to the fair today. Fun. You can hear them. I don't know if you can hear them, but I like you just the way you are. I hope you're having a wonderful week and a great Mercury Cazimi. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye. Bye.